You got an incredible main event. I just want to get your thoughts on. I mean, obviously Justin Gaethje walking on.
I mean, it was fight of the night, but fight of the year, fight of the whatever. It's one of the greatest fights you'll ever see. It was incredible, and especially when you got a guy. I don't know where it ended up, but 6, 7, 8 to 1 underdog, and then comes in and does what he did tonight. And then Ilia. I mean, the body shots that Ilia hit Gaethje with in that round, and then Gaethje gets through it. Gaethje's about to get into an armbar. He almost got into a triangle. I mean, you saw everything in that fight.
Yeah. And then last thing I want to ask.
Stepping into the electric atmosphere of UFC Freedom Fights 250, Ilia Topuria carried an aura of absolute invincibility, riding a massive wave of momentum and a well-earned reputation as one of the most perilous and dynamic strikers in mixed martial arts. Coming off a series of spectacular finishes, numerous supporters and pundits alike anticipated he would maintain his meteoric ascent, solidifying his status as the undisputed premier star and the new face of the highly competitive lightweight division.
I don't know what's next for Gaethje. For Ilia, I don't know what's next for me. I think he's going to need a long break. This is the type of fight that you need a big break. You need to relax for a little bit, let your mind, let your body heal, let your bones, obviously I think he got his eye orbital broken, maybe both of them. I'm hoping for a speedy recovery for my boy, but that was crazy to see that his corner literally had to throw in the towel for him. That's how bad it got, and it sucks when you can't see like that, but it shows the dog that Ilia is. Never gave up. When they gave him a chance, like, you sure want to keep going? He said, hell yeah.
Yet, the evening took a shocking and brutal detour when Topuria endured a crushing, unexpected loss, abruptly halting his remarkable winning streak in its tracks. Even more alarming than the defeat itself was the severe, visible physical toll he absorbed throughout the grueling, back-and-forth contest. While the matchup tested both competitors to their absolute physical and psychological limits, Topuria seemingly took the brunt of the heavy, concussive damage, especially near his facial region where swelling rapidly began to set in.
Justin Gaethje just defeated Ilia Topuria by round 4 TKO to corner stoppage at UFC Freedom 250 on the White House lawn, and is now the undisputed lightweight world champion at 37 years old. I can't believe I'm saying these things. I thought Strickland's upset against Chimaev was going to be enough this year for the MMA gods to start making logic true once again in this sport, but no.
After the conclusion of the card, UFC President Dana White disclosed to the media that Topuria was rushed straight to a local medical facility for a thorough, immediate checkup. White clarified in a somber tone that although he lacks medical credentials to provide an official clinical diagnosis, the trauma appeared grave enough to strongly indicate a potential fractured eye socket or severe orbital bone damage.
This UFC White House card for about 11 and a half months. Donald Trump announced it July 4th of 2025. Obviously, we didn't know who was going to be on the card until, when was it? Around March or so of 2026, I do believe. But still, we've been talking about it, and now it's over. And now it's all done. And I think you can only say, as you turn off your TV, as you go to bed, as you probably are looking at the clock right now and saying, golly, I got to wake up early because it's a Sunday, not a Saturday night, that was a massive success for the UFC. By the way, my situation's a little bit weird right now. My computer died. I can't figure it out. So I don't know what's going on with my computer this weekend. My sound didn't work on Friday. I have to use my phone this time, but I hope you'll excuse me. I'm going to give you my quick thoughts as to, how I felt things went down this evening at the White House, and then Monday, in just a few hours' time, we'll do the regular show and give you the regular breakdown. Justin Gaethje is the undisputed champion of the UFC. This is a shocking result, and I have to apologize.
He stressed that the main focus for the organization was no longer about scheduling upcoming bouts, matchmaking, or championship rematches, but making certain Topuria concentrated completely on his medical rehabilitation. White noted this was arguably the most brutal and taxing evening of Topuria's professional journey thus far, with the promotion urging him to rest, recuperate, and only step back into the octagon once he is completely restored both physically and psychologically. Justin Gaethje's enormous payout and career-defining triumph. As Topuria navigated the difficult physical and emotional fallout from his loss, Justin Gaethje rejoiced over one of the most monumental and hard-fought wins of his legendary professional journey.
You never know, because he was super underdog for that fight, and he could beat him, and that's why there is a chance. And Justin, on the main fights, he always win almost, And stylistically, Topuria was good matchup for him too. He's not wrestling. He doesn't wrestle.
The seasoned veteran produced a spectacular, heart-stopping showing under tremendous strain and received substantial financial compensation to match the magnitude of his achievement. Dana White subsequently revealed in the post-fight press conference that Gaethje collected a staggering roughly $825,000 in bonus money, including lucrative Fight of the Night and Performance of the Night payouts, rendering it one of the most financially profitable evenings of his entire career. This massive monetary windfall highlighted not just the sheer, unadulterated thrill of the matchup for the fans, but also the sheer scale of his monumental achievement against a top-tier opponent.
I just believe Ilia's going to be too sharp and just catch him. I think he's just going to be too much and he's going to get the KO victory. And he could get the KO victory early rounds.
Gaethje walked into the matchup as the clear underdog according to numerous spectators, oddsmakers, and pundits, who questioned his age and durability, but he successfully conquered the obstacle and secured a career-altering win. This showing further bolstered his legacy as one of the most resilient, fearless, and entertaining competitors in the history of the UFC, cementing his highlight moniker. For Gaethje, this triumph symbolized far more than just cash or praise. It served as ultimate, undeniable proof that countless hours of dedication, sacrifice, and relentless perseverance finally culminated in a masterpiece on one of the sport's grandest platforms. Gaethje analyzes his grueling clash with Topuria.
Everyone's already counting Gaethje out, and we've already learned you can't do that. I don't know, I've got a sneaky suspicion that Gaethje might pull off an upset here and surprise everyone. But as you know, it's a fight. It's a fist fight. It can go either way. Anyone could beat anyone.
Following the conclusion of the bout, during an animated post-match interview, Gaethje spoke openly and candidly regarding his experience sharing the Octagon with the highly touted Topuria. He acknowledged that Topuria was precisely as hazardous and elite as predicted, commending his rapid hand speed, raw, one-punch power, and highly technical proficiency. Gaethje specifically pointed out the brutal, breath-stealing body strikes he swallowed throughout the matchup, quipping with a wince that his liver continued to ache and spasm well after the final bell had rung. According to Gaethje, Topuria's explosive energy, sharp footwork, and aggressive offense generated massive difficulties during the opening phases of the contest, forcing him into a defensive shell.
If I was a money man, if I was a betting man, I could bet on these. My money would be towards Ilia. Even though the odds is crazy, you gotta go towards Topuria. It's hard. It's hard to go against him just with what he was doing, so.
Nevertheless, he felt the critical, fight-altering shift occurred when Topuria was unable to secure a dramatic finish during the crucible of the second frame. Gaethje proposed that once Topuria recognized he couldn't achieve an early knockout despite throwing the kitchen sink, noticeable frustration and desperation started to creep into his demeanor. As the matchup progressed into the later, grueling rounds, Gaethje sensed his personal confidence expanding while Topuria's forward momentum and output began to noticeably dissipate. The seasoned competitor felt his extensive background in prolonged, exhausting wars ultimately provided him the decisive edge once the matchup transformed into a pure, unadulterated test of stamina, grit, and psychological resilience. The mental approach that enabled Gaethje to survive. One of the most intriguing and philosophical disclosures from Gaethje's post-match interview was the unique psychological tactic he utilized to ready himself for the impending war. Instead of concentrating exclusively on winning or visualizing a triumphant hand raise, Gaethje mentioned he psychologically embraced the very real potential for defeat prior to walking through the cage doors. He deliberately reminded himself that he could lose, face public humiliation, get knocked out cold, and endure massive physical trauma. By accepting those exact, terrifying scenarios, he completely eliminated anxiety and the fear of failure from the equation, enabling himself to slip into a profound, almost zen-like mental zone. During the course of the matchup, there were terrifying instances where Topuria connected with heavy, flush blows that clearly damaged him and sent him stumbling. Gaethje confessed that he was staggered and visibly rocked on multiple occasions, taking massive punishment across both his head and torso. However, he flatly refused to succumb to panic. Alternatively, he depended on decades of practical experience, rigorous sparring, and intense psychological preparation to stay composed under intense, blinding duress. According to Gaethje, weathering those perilous, fight-flipping moments was equally as crucial as executing his own offensive strikes. His remarkable readiness to tolerate agonizing pain, reset his feet, and keep advancing ultimately served as one of the most crucial, defining elements in securing his monumental triumph. Khabib's previous remarks regarding Gaethje resurface. While eager spectators and analysts dissected the matchup on social media, an older, highly revealing interview featuring former undefeated lightweight champion Khabib Nurmagomedov started circulating across the internet once more, going viral in the process. In the resurfaced footage, Khabib labeled Justin Gaethje as the absolute hardest, most heavy-handed puncher he had ever encountered within the UFC octagon. Given that Khabib battled countless elite, world-class strikers during his historic, undefeated career, this assertion held immense credibility and weight. Khabib vividly remembered just how hazardous Gaethje's looping punches, thudding kicks, heavy hooks, and uppercuts felt during their highly anticipated championship clash at UFC 254. He detailed that Gaethje owned an uncommon, rare level of raw strength capable of altering the trajectory of a matchup with just one single, perfectly placed blow. In the wake of Gaethje's most recent triumph over Topuria, numerous followers re-watched those remarks as concrete proof that his punching power stays world-class and terrifying even as he nears the twilight of his career. The re-emerged conversation sparked fresh, heated discussions regarding where Gaethje stands among the most perilous, devastating strikers in UFC history, additionally emphasizing the remarkable, against all odds quality of his showing against a prime Topuria. As the highly volatile lightweight division was abruptly reshaped and turned on its head by Gaethje's monumental triumph, focus rapidly pivoted toward the future landscape and the shifting title picture. Former UFC middleweight champion and current prominent analyst Michael Bisping chimed in on the rapidly evolving scenario, contending passionately that Arman Tsarukyan ought to be granted the subsequent chance to compete for the championship belt. Bisping highlighted Tsarukyan's latest dominant outings as undeniable evidence that he has rightfully secured his position at the very front of the pack. Throughout the last few years, Tsarukyan has constructed a formidable, undeniable record by conquering top-tier adversaries and continually elevating his already elite skill set. Bisping observed that the challenger has not merely secured wins, but has accomplished them in an absolutely dominating, suffocating manner, displaying a lethal combination of technical brilliance, elite wrestling, and newfound finishing prowess. In his view, absolutely no other lightweight challenger currently holds a more valid, compelling argument for a championship bout. Bisping feels the organization must leverage Tsarukyan's current, undeniable momentum and finally grant him the title opportunity that a large portion of the global audience believes he has rightfully earned, setting the stage for what could be the most exciting era in the division's history. Justin Gaethje's enormous payout and career-defining triumph. As Topuria navigated the difficult physical and emotional fallout from his loss, Justin Gaethje rejoiced over one of the most monumental and hard-fought wins of his legendary professional journey. The seasoned veteran produced a spectacular, heart-stopping showing under tremendous strain and received substantial financial compensation to match the magnitude of his achievement. Dana White subsequently revealed in the post-fight press conference that Gaethje collected a staggering roughly $825,000 in bonus money, including lucrative Fight of the Night and Performance of the Night payouts, rendering it one of the most financially profitable evenings of his entire career. This massive monetary windfall highlighted not just the sheer, unadulterated thrill of the matchup for the fans, but also the sheer scale of his monumental achievement against a top-tier opponent. Gaethje walked into the matchup as the clear underdog according to numerous spectators, oddsmakers, and pundits, who questioned his age and durability, but he successfully conquered the obstacle and secured a career-altering win. This showing further bolstered his legacy as one of the most resilient, fearless, and entertaining competitors in the history of the UFC, cementing his highlight moniker. For Gaethje, this triumph symbolized far more than just cash or praise. It served as ultimate, undeniable proof that countless hours of dedication, sacrifice, and relentless perseverance finally culminated in a masterpiece on one of the sport's grandest platforms.